Welcome to the tutorial for applying to the COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which includes a $10,000 grant you may be eligible for as of March 30th, 2020. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm the Economic Development Manager for the U District Partnership right here in Seattle, Washington, and today we'll be walking through what it takes to get your $10,000 grant. First, let's jump into the CARES Act, the legislation that actually provided this loan and grant opportunity. Now it's 880 pages and I'm not going to make us walk through it, but if we jump into page 66, it clearly outlines who or what type of entity is eligible. So again, we are on page 66 of the CARES Act, which is linked below if you want to follow along. If not, I will tell you right now what eligible entity means. It's right here. A business with not more than 500 employees or any individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees or as an independent contractor. You could also be a co-op, an ESOP, or a tribal small business concern, but most entities will fall under these two categories right here. So if you're a business with not more than 500 employees or an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship, good job, you're eligible. Now, what can you use these $10,000 for? That's really important because they've outlined it very specifically here. If we jump into page 69, the bottom of page 69, use of funds. You may use these funds for providing paid sick leave, maintaining payroll, meeting increased costs to obtain materials because of interrupted supply chains, making rent or mortgage payments, and repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue loss. These are the criteria they want you to use this $10,000 for. Please make sure you use it for this criteria. I do not know what the follow-up is going to look like, but at this point I would suggest everyone apply if they can use funds for these purposes. Now here's something that's really important. Any applicant shall not be required to repay any amount of an advance provided under this subsection, even if subsequently denied a loan under section 7B2. What does that mean? Well, as it's written, that means any applicant will receive that $10,000 loan, or $10,000 grant, excuse me. They're calling it an advance, but it's a grant. You're getting free money. You will not be required to repay any amount of this advance, even if subsequently denied for a loan. That means if you apply for this loan, you will get a $10,000 grant regardless of whether you get the loan or not. Again, you will get $10,000 in your bank account regardless of whether you're approved for this loan or not approved. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Please take advantage of this. So, if you're a small business with under 500 employees, a sole proprietor, and can use $10,000 for the funds outlined here on page 69 and 70 of the CARES Act, you're eligible. So let's jump into the application. So you'll start by typing in COVID-19 relief.sba.gov into your search engine. You don't need that hashtag. So again, COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. Type that in, press enter, boom, you're at this page. Now this first section is, again, just making sure you're an eligible entity. It's what we just talked about. So most individuals will be applicant, which is a business with not more than 500 employees or a sole proprietorship. Check one of those. Go through all these check boxes. You're going to want to check each one as long as that is true and an accurate statement. There's stuff like whether you're lobbying, are you a member of Congress? This should be fairly simple. Press continue. Now here's just some basic business legal information. I'll use the U District Partnership as an example today, but you're going to want to put in your LLC or your sole proprietorship name, whatever your legal name is. Pretty much the same thing here unless you go by a different name. Your EIN or social security number if you're a sole proprietor. So again, this should be fairly simple. We'll use some random numbers here. Your organization type. Are you an LLC, sole proprietor, S Corp, C Corp, partnership? fill that in. We are a trust. Now, are you a nonprofit? Most individuals will not be a nonprofit, so you hit no. The U District Partnership is a nonprofit, so I'll just hit yes for the purposes of this video. And are you a franchise? Yes, no, fairly straightforward. Now they're going to want your gross revenues for the past 12 months, but not of 2019. Instead, you want to calculate your gross revenues from January 31st, 2019 to January 31st, 2020. So again, for the 12 months prior to the date of January 31st, 2020. So get that number, put in the number of your gross revenues, and then the same thing for your cost of goods. Remember, again, this is from January 31st, 2019 to January 31st, 2020. That's the period they want to see here. So we'll put in some random numbers here. Rental properties, if you've had a loss of rental property, commercial, you'd fill that in, that number. We're going to go with 0. Nonprofit cost of operation, again, most individuals not be a nonprofit, we'll put 0. Combined annual operating expenses for all secular social services provided by the faith-based entity. Again, most individuals will not fall under that. This is faith-based, nothing. Compensation from other sources. So if you did apply for any other funding, a grant or loan, let's say you applied for a community credit union loan, let's say you got $10,000 before, you just want to make sure you write that down. So loan from community credit union. If you have not received any compensation, leave that blank. Your primary business address, let's just do something random here for our purposes, but again, this is your business address, First Avenue, Seattle, Washington. Your business phone number, again, very simple. Any alternate business phone. Your email, I'll use my email. The date your business was established, current ownership, your type of business activity. So if you're a restaurant, you go to eating and drinking places. Are you a bar, ice cream shop, casual dining, fast food, carry out? This should be fairly straightforward. Just kind of generally pick your category. Number of employees. This is not referring to FTEs. So if you have 10 part-time employees, you'd want to put that in here. If you are technically an employee, or if you're working, you want to include yourself as an owner. So we'll just put 5 here, but remember, this is part-time, full-time, yourself. This is the number of employees you have, not FTEs. You're going to click next. This next page is, again, very simple. Is your business owned by a business entity? Does another business own your business? Most individuals, it'll be a no. Now you want to fill in the information for the actual business owners. If it's just yourself, it'll be very easy. You'll kind of run through this. If you have an additional business partner, you want to add them here. It says add additional owner. So for the purpose of this video, I'll just run through this. Daniel, phone number, your title, again, owner, manager, accountant, whatever you want to put there. If you have a partner, you'd put your percentage. If you don't have a partner, that'll just be 100%. Your email, again, I'll just type in mine. Your social security number, again, this is your personal social security number. So this is, again, individual owner information. So not your EIN, but your actual social security number. Your birthday, your place of birth. Are you a U.S. citizen? And then your home address. Again, we're just using something random here. Okay, so once you have all that filled in, again, if you have another owner, you'd click add additional owner. If you don't, you could skip to next. Now here's the most important page of this application. So there's a couple check boxes here for additional information. It's mostly focused on criminal offenses. So read through this, click no. Have you been convicted of a criminal offense? you currently suspended or debarred from contracting with the federal government? Are you subject to an indictment? So that should be no. If anyone's helping you with this application, this is where you want to provide their information, their individual name, their company. If you're doing this yourself, you could skip this part. This is only if someone is helping you apply. Here's the most important part. Here it is. I would like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000. Make sure you check this box. This is the most important part right here. Again, this box is what will get you a $10,000 grant that you will not have to repay at all if you use it for the funds we discussed earlier. Check this box, type in your bank name, Chase Bank, or whatever bank you use, your account number. You can get this from your bank, your routing number. There it is. Again, check that box, put in your bank account information. This is really important. As the legislation is written, you should receive these funds 3 days within your application. All right? We'll jump back here and I'll even show you that language. Here it is, page 69. Read through it if you don't believe it. In the amount requested by such applicant to such applicant within 3 days after the administrator receives an application. So if you apply today, those funds should be in your bank account in 3 days. Whether that happens, still yet to be seen, but that's what the CARES Act, that's what it says. So let's hope for the best. If you've filled in this information, you can go ahead and read through this, check this box, click next, and this last page is just a summary. Again, spend some time, make sure this is all accurate. You don't want to mess up on this application. This is your business legal name, again, your EIN. You've gone through all this. Make sure this is all accurate. If it is, you click I'm not a robot and submit. Once you click submit, you'll get a code or some kind of number that basically gives you a reference number. Make sure to save that. And that's it. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Please do this. If you're a small business owner, anywhere in Seattle, anywhere in Washington, Oregon, anywhere in the United States, make sure you take advantage of this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My email is daniel@udistrictpartnership.org. Thank you very much, and good luck, everybody.